I just wanted to say, which is quite interesting when you look at the tribal populations, especially when you look at the Musahars, you know, our indigenous populations, our tribal populations, a lot of them have sort of lost connection to their ancestral lands. They've lost connection to their traditional ways of life, which has sort of stopped them from doing what they would have done in order for their own nutrition as hunter-gatherers, which is what they would have functioned as. And our diets, which are rice and wheat, is not a diet that suits them very well, because that is not how genetically they have, genealogically, as you said, sir, have eaten. So one of the things is sickle cell anemia, which is, we know, is in our indigenous, tribal populations. And the other is the fact that tuberculosis, for example, wiped out indigenous peoples across the world because they have zero ability to deal with it. So South America, North America, Europe, most of the indigenous tribal populations were wiped out because of tuberculosis. So that is something here, when they are taken away from their land and don't have their traditional ways of life, it becomes a very challenging thing to keep the nutrition levels up and what to do about how they live. Yeah. So.
Right. Ravi, how does one ensure that these programs, they reach tribes like the Musahars?
It's a very interesting question, Sanket, again. As we have done from the season 7 onwards, leaving no one behind. So one of the major things is actually, making sure we reach to all the indigenous populations. In case of Maharashtra, Maharashtra was the first state where we started working in Nandurbar and Amravati. And we started working on the tribal populations here, on the nutrition, health, hygiene. We got a lot of learnings from here. From here, we took it to Gujarat now, where we are working with the Siddi tribes, which were brought in India by the Nawab of Junagadh. They're all black Africans. So we work with them in, Gujarat. In the similar way, we have huge plans to reach out to the Musar communities in UP and Bihar, in both the states. Along with that, we are there in almost with the Bonder tribes in Orissa. We are working with them to some extent, but we will be scaling it up further. India has a very rich culture and heritage. So when we were doing our cultural studies in, in Reckitt, we also saw like there are a lot of tribes there which are there bordering MP and Rajasthan too, like Kanjars, Kalbelias, Nuts, Karnats, and all this. So we have huge plans to actually reach out to them and make sure the basic dignity of life, by the virtue of health determinants, can be achieved. And like you rightly pointed out, Swati, there was a maiden call done by Honorable Prime Minister a week back, where we were in the direct interface with Mansukh Bhai, who is Health Minister for India, where Reckitt actually committed to take care of many cases of tuberculosis, especially with the indigenous populations and in the tribes in Meghalaya, in Mizoram, and other northeastern states. And we plan to expand it further. Thank you.